It's 10 a.m. for us, 9 a.m. in UK time. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. That's the advantage with this online meetings, right? Our hopefully last virtual global AppSec. After this, we will go back to in-person conferences, as I said yesterday already. First one, global AppSec in San Francisco, being in person again, end of this year in November. Welcome to the second day of our conference. This morning, I am honored to introduce you to Astrid Oosenbrug. I think it's a terrible name for non-Dutch speakers, as the same for mine for non-German speakers. Astrid, I can talk forever to introduce you. You're very experienced. You have been a system admin in the early, more than 20 years ago. You have been a member of the parliament in the Netherlands. You are involved in the LGBT movement. And now I see you also in the Dutch responsible, the DVED, the Dutch Institute for Vulnerability Disclosure. What a name. With no further ado, I think let's give the floor to Astrid, please.
Yes, good morning, afternoon, whatever, wherever you are. I'm gonna give you a talk about helpful hackers, and especially the way we see the digital life through our eyes. First, a little introduction of who I am. Martin already gave some stuff away. I was a member of parliament. Before that, I was a system administrator for an ISP, Internet Service Provider, Access for All. Maybe some people know it. For now, I'm also the president of COC Netherlands. That's the oldest still existing LGBTI organization in the world. We are 75 years old, and I'm also a mom in real life and a cyber mom for a lot of young hackers. I will tell you a little bit more about that later. And I'm an activist, and as you can see in the pictures, but I also had some meetings with our minister, president from the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, who signed the Rainbow Statement. So I hope in the Netherlands, LGBTI will get a better place and we all get our equal rights. So that's in short who I am. And one of the things is also I'm very into the hackers community. And speaking of the hackers community, I think you may know us, have heard of us, because one of our founders, Victor Gevers, had, I wanted to say pleasure to hack the Twitter account of Trump 2 times, not 1 time, but even 2 times. He tried to warn him, they didn't respond. So after some time, he got to talk to the people who could fix it. So it took a long time, and we even asked the Dutch government to help us, and they did. And another thing they did is the KSEA 0-day hack. And we were almost there to make it to save the day, but we tripped at the finish. So that was a painful moment, but also a good moment, because we really did a lot so to stop this. But it felt like at the finish we tripped. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history and the future of DVD. In October 2018, we really started, and we is Victor Gevers, Chris van 't Hof, and me. Because we thought that the world has to be a digital safe place for everybody. And for me, it was really, really important, because around my age of 30, I was divorced, and my only lifeline to the rest of the world, I was a single mom with 2 little kids, and my only place to get knowledge, to educate myself, to make friends, to talk to other people, was the internet. So for me, it felt like a very, very safe place. I met a lot of people, I learned a lot, I even found a job through the internet in those days. So for me, it's really important to keep it a safe place. So people like me, who maybe for them it's a lifeline at a moment in their life, it's a safe place so you can meet new people. So that's why we started, because we all, the three of us, we had the same ideas about that. Internet has to be a safe place. Systems have to be safe. So we started dvd.nl. And then we found out that there's also, it was really Dutch. That also we had to scan the whole world, because internet doesn't stop at the borders. So we also made CSERT Global. And then we thought we have to learn our kids to do it on a safe way. So we started DVD Academy. And because we get a lot of funding these days, we also started DVD Fund. So I will explain later what all these organizations do. Let's start with the D in DIVD. The D stands for Dutch. You could somehow get that, I think. And the D, the Dutch, stands also for the Dutch mentality. We believe in an open, honest, collaborative, and for free mentality. And we try to get that in a code of conduct. It's on our site, you can read it, because we made some agreements together, because we want to be open, because we want to be honest, because we want to be collaborative, and we want to be, we do it for free. We also need to set up a set of rules, and so we did with the code of conduct. But we also have an international reach. And that's a bit weird, because it's Dutch, but internet doesn't stop at the border, as I said. So you can scan, but then you scan the whole world, because you never know who is behind IP address. The I stands for Institute. And we started the Institute with Victor, Chris and Astrid. Then Frank Bredijk came, and some other people came, and we had a small group of people. And it grew, and it grew, and it grew. And now we have we say the Dutch Raad van Toezicht, but it's the, it's a board above the board. They just look at us. We have a director now, and we have 7 different organizations with all the, they all have their own team lead. And under their, the team lead, there are different stuff all these people do. And that's a lot. So we started as a small volunteer organization, and now we have about 120 volunteers, and you all have to manage that. So that's a weird thing, because we're all like hackers and nerds and geeks and whatever, and we all think we're not really organized. And if you look at this picture, you see we are very organized. The V stands for vulnerability. And we're thinking about what kind of vulnerabilities are we looking for, and we split it up in 3 kinds of cases. There's the critical vulnerabilities, like when you have the Kaseya case, or like the Log4j, or it's just a vulnerability. Everybody knows it's in the news, and then we start scanning, because we want to make sure it gets off the internet as soon as possible, out of the systems. Then we also have the data leaks, where we get, where we can see databases where there are personal credentials, and then we're gonna start make sure the people whose credentials are leaked, to make sure they get get notified, because, well, we all know if your password and your login name is noticed somewhere, well, people can make use of that in a bad way. So you have to be sure these people get notified as soon as possible. And then the third vulnerability we do is 0 days. Some of our researchers find 0 days themselves. Sometimes we get them offered by other people, researchers who found a 0 day and don't want to get all the hustle to start talking to the vendor or to the software developer, and they just say, please, can you do something about it? And then we take it as DIVD and we talk to the vendors and the software developers. And this was the case in Kaseya, for example. Then you see, if you look at the critical vulnerabilities, you get it gets in the news, and if you see, like, Citrix was one of the big vulnerabilities, and then we started scanning Pulse Secure, the Exchange proxy logon, and then we just start scanning, and make sure that all the systems, every time we see a system that has the vulnerability, we send an email. If they don't respond to the email, we will even phone them. We will try to find out who the person is who can fix the vulnerability, because we don't fix the vulnerabilities. We only scan, we find the leaks, and then we notify the people who can fix it. For victim notifications, we use our own, but also third-party research. Sometimes other people tell us, we found this database, it's open, blah, blah, blah. Well, we had the Mirai, we had the warehouse bot, we had Telegram. And we noticed that it's often very difficult for public agencies to handle, because sometimes even you need the government to tell organizations that they have a leak, but somehow there's always something wrong with that the law will work against them or something. And we are a volunteer organization. We can just notify everybody we want, and they can like it or not, but we are working within the lines of the law. And that's different for a volunteer organization than for a company or for a government. And then we have the 0 days. Kaseya was found by one of our researchers. We had Fembu. So that's also what we do. We do a lot of research in software, and sometimes we find the leaks ourselves, and we start talking to the vendors or the developers to make sure they fix the leaks in the software, because it's an accident waiting to happen. Because if our researchers find it, then bad people will find it too. So it's always a race against the clock, and that's what happened with Kaseya. We just did the race against the clock. And then the most important part, I think, is the disclosure. Because that's what the mission of DIVD is. Because we aim to make the digital world safer, and this is the most important thing. By reporting vulnerabilities we find in digital systems to the people who can fix them. And we also have a global reach. We do it Dutch style, open, honest, collaborate, and for free. I already told you, but the most important part is we report the vulnerabilities that we find in the digital systems, and we report them to the people who can fix them. And that's a really important part, because we really need your help. So we have our own AS. We scan from the range. You see 194.573.0/24. So we have our own IP range. And if you ever get a report and you're not the one who can fix it, but please forward it to the person who can. Because what we do is, like we did at Kaseya, we found a lot of open instances. We started scanning, we started sending out the reports, and then in a few days, you see all the leaks are going down. So it really works, it really helps. And well, we are a bunch of volunteers, and we can't do it alone. So this is what we really need. For the disclosure, we are reporting it to the ones that fix, and we also work together with trusted information sharing partners. One of the partners is the National Cybersecurity Center, Digital Trust Center in the Netherlands, but also the CERTs. So there's, and maybe that's also the Dutch culture, because we work together with the government, with organizations, with companies, whatever, just to make the world, the digital world, a better place. We also have a lot of contacts via the network providers, and if all else fails, we have direct contacts. We phone companies, we phone people to make sure it gets fixed. International, we now have CCERT Global. It's run by Ewart Driehuis, and they do it in the same way, but only international. So if the leak is not in the Netherlands or the company or whatever, then CCERT Global will make sure they phone the people or go to the people who in that country, like in Germany, America, England. We have a lot of contacts already all over the world, France, Belgium. So we make the world one big disclosure paradise, I would say. What we also do is the victim notification, and then we try to contact the victim directly, mostly by email. If they don't respond to email, then we will go to the site operators, we will phone them, and we're working together with the No More Leaks initiative, because they do the same stuff also, and we really believe in joining forces together. So together we are strong and make this world a safer place. And the 0 days, well, we work within the CVD guidelines. We can even make our own CVDs now. We are reporting to the vendor, and afterwards we just treat it like just another critical vulnerability. So we start scanning again. We start reporting it to the people who still has the software on their machine. So circles are round in this case. Well, then we go to the institute. In our research, or our ethical hackers, as you wish, there are 3 levels, levels 1, 2, and 3, where level 1 is really like you go to Showdown, you see what's leaked, and you do a scan on stuff you see there. Level 2 is a bit higher, and level 3 is really 0 days. So you get, as the longer you are with the DIVD, the more credits you earn, and you can grow in level. So it's also a trust issue. And everybody earns the trust by being a volunteer and spend time at DIVD. Research also work on finding vulnerabilities. They do scanning and they find 0 days. We also have our own CCERT, and that works on the triage. They look, how big is this? Is this really a big issue, or can we leave it for a week or for 2 days? Or they also take care of the publication, like if a journalist phones, they want to make a story about it. CCERT will make sure the technical details are all in order. They also keep the vendor relations, so they take care of when they find a 0 day or a vulnerability, they talk to the vendors. And what's very important, they write a report. So from the day they start till the very end, and all the reports are also on the site of DIVD. You can read them. They're very interesting, I think, because you see how every leak is handled, and from day 1 till the closing moment. And as soon as it's closed, then the report will be online. Then we also, because we are growing and growing, we also have an own operations group. They take care of the scan infra. I'm not sure if you can imagine how many machines we have running to scan the internet 24/7, the whole internet 24/7, 7 days a week. So they make sure it's all up and running. We have our own help desk for the people at the volunteers at DiviD with their own questions, but also, well, if a vendor has a question, they can also ask at operations. They take care of all the applications we use because, well, we are holier, we have to be holier than the Pope. So our applications really need to be in order, make sure we don't have our own leaks, make sure we take good care of every piece of software we use. And we also want to make, develop our own applications, everything open source, of course. And we have for every group, we have our own website and they take care of the websites too. So it's the operations is the biggest group, well, the biggest growing group at the moment. Then we have the HRM, the human research manager. They take care of the onboarding and offboarding. Because every volunteer can send, I want to be a volunteer at DiviD, then you get a talk, what do you want to do? We talk about training because we think every volunteer should be part of DiviD and also feel they can grow themselves. So if you are a help desk person, maybe you want to learn more about research, then you can learn more about research, and then when you talk about what training do you need, whatever. We also have a counselor because we also want to be a safe space for everybody. We want to be inclusive and diverse, and everybody should feel safe. So we really have a counselor who can, well, if you ever think like I'm not treated well or I don't feel safe, you can talk to the counselor and he or she will help you to figure things out. So that sounds very professional too. And it's funny, well, I think it's funny because we are a volunteer group of hackers and we are very well organized, as you see. And then we have our own communication group. They take care of the PR. They do the publication of blogs. We also write blogs. They make sure we can be at events, but also make our own events. For the people in the Netherlands, we have hack talks. That's really nice, but they're mostly in Dutch. So that's, well, if you don't speak Dutch, it's a bit hard, but the hack talks are always very interesting because there's people who has no background in tech or hacking or whatever, and there's a lot of people who have, and then they just start a conversation together and we learn from each other. So last time we had somebody who was hacked and he told what it did to his company, how much time it cost, how much stress, and it was really good for us to hear because we do a notification, but we never think about what really happens at the moment. Some company gets a notification, and then you see there can be a lot of stress. So we're also working on that. And we have merchandise like my own T-shirt. I'm not sure if you can see it, but and we're thinking about well, spreading the love of DiviD. So we want to share more with merchandise like stickers, T-shirts, whatever. So people will know us all around the world. And then finance, I was the treasurer for some time and it really gave me headaches. So I'm glad it's outsourced now because there's more money getting in. So it needs, and then you see that in the whole volunteer organization, there weren't much people who are really good at finance in a way. So it's no shame to say that we outsourced it, and we are very happy we did. So, and then we also have compliance. As I said, we have to be holier than the Pope, because we are really, well, people are looking at us, and we have to do it in a very good way. So we have our own security officer, we have a privacy officer, we have a CISO, and we also have our own committees. One of them, it's really important, because maybe I should have started with that, but ethics is the #1 lesson at DiVD. We do our work in an ethical way. For us, it's a no-brainer, but well, I met some people who aren't that much into ethics. So that was really a thing. We thought, well, we have to start our own committee and make sure that ethics is a subject, and diversity and inclusion, because in the IT world, there's a lot of talk about why aren't there that many women, or why is it all the same people? And I think as long as you don't talk about it, it will never change. So if we address the problem and we start thinking together, how can we fix it? I think that's a better way than just always say like, oh, there are no women in cybersecurity, because I know a lot of women in cybersecurity. So that's also very important to think to yourself, and what words do you use? How do you talk to each other? How do you address other people? And well, there's a lot of lessons learned. Our CISO started her own group of people who want to learn how it is to be a CISO. So now we have 4 people who are training themselves in becoming a Chief Information Security Officer. So that's also the fun part about being part of a volunteer organization. You don't get paid in money, but you get paid in knowledge and in training. And then we get to the CCERT Global, because we are really proud, because CCERT Global is also a volunteer-led non-profit organization. But only there are more internationality organized, yes. So they do the same as we do at DIVD, only they aim to find, report and disclose vulnerability globally. So as we scan in the Netherlands in a group of Dutch IPs, how to say it, or we just scan and notify the Dutch people, organizations, whatever. CCERT Global is notifying the people all around the globe. So what they are working on is an international cooperation, this building chapters around the globe. We look at OWASP to learn from OWASP how you do that. And one of the chapters that will start real soon, I think, is in England, and that would be great. And then we try to, well, conquer the whole world by making all these chapters, because what we found, we met that what happened is that the laws and regulations are different in different countries. And we know the Dutch law, I know the Dutch law, but I don't know everything about other countries. So it's really important for us to have chapters in other countries, so we can learn from them how you make a good disclosure. Is there a rule? What are the chances you get arrested? So we have to really find out, and to spread the legal risk, we started CCERT Global. So it's their own foundation, but well, powered by the IVD, with the same code of conduct, with the same ethic routes, also volunteer-led, with the same blueprint of DiVD. And then we get to my my dream and my heart and my everything. That's the DiVD Academy. I started 5 years ago a sort like program to help young hackers to stay out of trouble, because I talked to the government, I talked to the police, and sometimes they go into a house at 5 o'clock in the morning and get a kid of 12 years old out of his bed because he hacked something, and the kids were like, I did nothing wrong, I just looked there and I could buy some stuff without paying, and they think it's all fun, and we really want to teach the kids about ethical hacking, that you can really earn a living if you want, that they are good people and not the bad like they are treated sometimes by school, because a lot of our youngsters, the first thing they do is hack their school. And then some schools are not amused and send them home or take away their computer or whatever. I think that's a really dumb idea to do. The other side is sometimes you have schools, they are really happy with kids like that, and they ask them to scan their network, help them to make school a better place, a more safe place. And sometimes we get youngsters who are not going to school anymore because they don't feel welcome or they don't understand what's asked of them. And when you talk to them, they are so brilliant with other stuff. And we think at Day Academy, we can learn them the other stuff. We can make sure they get a good future, because these kids are our next generation. We need their brains, we need their skills, we need everything. But the schooling in the Netherlands is not ready for kids like this. So my heart is really with the kids from the academy. I dropped out of school when I was 15, and I made it to a member of parliament. So for me, only the sky is the limit, and I know I can get the very best out of every kid, especially our little hacker kids. So and what can we teach them? We now have an online place where we want to fill the lessons with, well, for me, the fundamentals are really the OC layer, for instance, because nobody ever learns about the OC layer anymore. I think that's weird. We learn them about the ethical aspects, because I think you can be a good hacker without also take the ethical aspect in your whole, in your whole life. We teach them about a CSIRT, what it is, what can you do there, what skills do you need. We learn them about incident response, because they are a lot of online. They find a lot of stuff, and then they send a mail to somebody, say, hey, stupid, you have a leak in your software, maybe you should fix it. And then they get to me and say, Astrid, I sent a mail, but I never got an answer. No, because you didn't do it in the right way. So we're teaching them how to make a good responsible disclosure. What report do you send? And it's working, because, well, they get happier every day. We learn them about social engineering. We learn them about investigation online, open source intelligence. We learn them about malware research, offensive security. We learn them all the stuff we know. And the funny thing is, it's all in our heads. We have all the volunteers at DVD are all professionals, but we all teach most of our knowledge, we teach ourselves, to ourselves. So now we try to get it all out of our heads and put it into lessons. To learn, well, the youngsters and also the students from the university, whatever, because we think it's really important you learn all the stuff, and not only on paper, but you should also do it. You should do a real online investigation before you go to say, well, I have my I have my diploma, but you never did an online investigation. That's not something that computes with us. So, and last but not least, we also have the DIVD fund, because we also get donations, and we were thinking like, okay, we get donations. What do we do with them? Some of the money, they say, well, we got money from Huntress, and they said, well, we give you a piece of the money. We want you to build a 0-day platform, and you get the other part of the money, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. So we were thinking about, okay, what can we do with the money to make the world a better place? And then we thought, well, maybe we should make an own foundation also, the DIVD fund. We put the money in there, and people can sign in for a project. And the only thing we ask is that they contribute to the mission of DiVD, from DiVD itself, or external parties who have the same mission vision, and that's how to make the digital world safer. So the fund is still growing. We are not that rich at the moment, but the more donations we get, the more projects we can finance, and that would be really, really nice, because together, I said it a few times, together we are stronger, and together we can really make the digital world safer. And from DIVD, we do it from out a hacker's mentality, but also the software has to be safer. Also, what OWASP does contribute to that mission. So there's a lot of open source projects at the moment that can really help to make the world digital safer, and we want to be part of that. We want to fund that, so that's why we started DiVD Fund. And I think I'm talking too fast, so I'm just gonna tell this again about the whitelist we have. Because it's really important. We scan with this AS all the systems at the internet at this moment. And there are systems that are vulnerable. We send in a notify, and not all the notifies get to the right place. So it's very, very, very important for us that the notifies get to the right people, so they can start fixing them, because the internet is broken. I think we already know that, and our dream at DiVD is that we fix it together, and we can all make it a place again where information can be found, where we can communicate with each other. Because if one thing of the COVID learned us, we can't live without the internet. We can't live without systems. We can't live without communicate with each other in a digital way. So it's very important that we save the internet, that we fix it, that we help each other. Yeah, and that's, I think, what I really wanted to say. So now I can, this is more the questions. If you have general questions, you can find us on Twitter. We have our own website. If you want to be a volunteer, you can go to divd.nl and become a volunteer. So yeah, I can talk for hours, Martin, but
yeah. Thanks you, Astrid. Great presentation to know what DIVD, that will be the English pronunciation, does. We have actually two questions. One is, to whom did you outsource your finances? Another volunteer organization?
No, we also have our own kantoor, how you say? Office. Yeah. We have our own office, and that office also has their own finance organization, and the finance organization is a company that's taking care of foundations. So it's also not volunteer, but they work a lot for volunteer organizations, and it's also a small group. So.
Okay. So another question is the DIVD Academy open to everybody around the world?
Yes, because well, it's from two sides. We have an online version, and we're gonna fill it with online lessons, and we wanted to do it in the same way as we do at the DIVD, open, free, everybody can use it. And we also do classes, and they will be held in Netherlands, in The Hague, with a small group, and then they get like more masterclass, like BGP hijacking. We talk about fundamental non-technical shit. That's what it is, NTS. So we do more deepening about subjects. But the online lessons will be available for everybody who wants to well, learn more, because what I see, and it really annoys me, is that you get cyber training everywhere around the world, and you have to pay like 10,000 whatever for lessons. It's not that hard. Everybody can learn it if you're interested. And I'm really from the school, information wants to be free. And it's our, yeah, it's our, everybody knows how to handle a subject. And why should I earn 10,000 whatever dollars or euros for a simple lesson because I have the knowledge? No, I want to share my knowledge, and I can earn money in other ways. So yes, everybody can take lessons, and they will be free. So
yeah, it's definitely something that we can work together also, because we have some free available material as OWASP. I want to show you. Yeah. Let me see. There was a question: are the DIVD Academy videos only in Dutch?
Yeah, we had. There's one video from Hack Talk, and I think it's in Dutch. So, but we try to make more material and do it in English.
Okay, so yeah, we have another question. So it's a good one. One says, "Great, thank you so much. Do you have any way to register ASNs or other IP arrangements to ensure you can reach us? Thinking about what Shadow Servers has done with their subscription service."
I'm not sure if I understand the question good enough, but we work together also with Shadow Server, and we have all the IP ranges. We just scan the whole internet, and some people block us, our range, but well, that's their loss, I think, because our mission is to make the internet a safe place, and we do that from our own range. Sorry, yeah, I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I just put a question in your chat so that you have the complete question.
Oh.
But,
oh, to register, yes. There's also, yeah, but that's the Dutch version. We have the cybersecurity meldpunt, and people can put their or share their IP addresses with that. And maybe CSERT Global will do that, but I'm not sure. At day we work the other way around. We scan everything, so we don't let people opt in, but you can opt out by saying, "Well, I'm gonna block this AS."
Cool. We see full-time workers. For full-time workers, does DIVD has a minimum amount of hours required in order to take part?
For volunteers?
Yeah.
No, because some people have 2 hours a week, and others have like 20 hours a week, and especially the research part is really intense, because we do scan the whole internet, and it not stops with that, but it starts with that, because if you get a range and you know, then you have to send the notifications. A lot of it is done automated at the moment, but the most of the work is in the messages you get back, like, okay, the abuse address is not working, the info address is not working. So then you have to really look up the IP address, have to look up, okay, who's behind that machine, and then you can try to get to them in another way, and that's cost more time. And but you can do, say if you have 2 hours left, you can, or if maybe 6 hours a month. It's also, what would you like to contribute to day-to-day?
I think, as we discussed earlier, so there's this initiative to have the security.txt, a security text file with contact details, how to report a vulnerability.
Yeah.
I think, as you said, that some companies are afraid to get hacked when you actually put it on the website.
Yeah, we also sometimes get messages from, we don't want you to read our security text, or they they take the text away, or yeah, that's also a thing maybe we have to think about. We still have a lot to teach other people and companies and whatever, because they make themselves vulnerable, because they are afraid that we are the bad guys, but we are the good guys. So that's why I do talks like this, to explain that we really want to make the internet a safer place for everybody, so our kids can enjoy it too, like single moms, single dads. If you're isolated, you can still talk to other people, because in a safe way, and not while you're online, then your bank account get hacked or something. That's not really what you want if you're already in a position where you're, well, feeling down or whatever. So
yeah, I think that it's awareness and awareness spreading. It's one big thing we still have to do. I think there was a nice story once from Victor, when he said he had to travel to Africa, and one government said, what should we do to get more secure? And he said, first of all, don't execute your hackers, right? It's like, let them hack, let them help you. I think that's the difference when you go to different cultures or countries where understanding of hacking is differently. I think the Netherlands, they're quite liberal on that part.
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't tell the whole story, but it helped that I was a member of parliament from 2012 to 2017. I was the one and only real well, technical member of parliament, and I helped the people who wanted a responsible disclosure to get that in the law. I helped it as and that really helped, because the responsible disclosure really helped our foundation also to do what we do now, because it's in the law. It says you can do responsible disclosures. And that's really unique, I think, for the world, that in the Netherlands we started this, and now we're lobbying in Europe to get it done there, and then we hope in America and all around the world. So it will help to make the internet a safe place, and not because all hackers are criminals. No, criminals are criminals and hackers are the good guys, in my humble opinion, that is.
Oh yeah, I think wasn't it very easy 3 points? So do it quickly, do it once, and report. It's do it quickly doesn't mean to hack quickly, but you don't break anything, right? You don't do extortion, overexposure proof. I just cannot say, I think, the English term for that, but I think it's very advantage to the governments for the other side. It's like, if you just show it, you don't break anything, and you don't download data from others. So when you just prove your point, you don't download all the customers' data, just you prove there's a vulnerability, and that's enough. And then government said they will not prosecute you.
Prosecute, no, prosecute, yeah.
Prosecute, yeah. My English is not awake yet, I think. Yeah, so again, another thanks for the keynote presentation, very useful. And let's see if there are any other great questions there. So far, I think we answered most of the questions. So it's 10 minutes almost to the next presentation. Astrid and Over, thank you so much. I think we can do a slow site promotion. There are hacker festivals, like in the Netherlands, we have every 4 years one that's differently called. I don't understand the logic behind it, but it's the Dutch. This year is the MCH, May Contain Hackers, 22.org. So 20 MCH, I think 22.org, 2022.org.
2022.org, yeah.
Yeah. So a hacker festival in July. Astrid will be there. I will be there with an OWASP village. So let's see if there's not much, but there's still some tickets available. That will be nice. So let's say, yeah, we do security, they do security, and we have to join forces. And ours is about write secure code or write secure applications. And of course, you have to know to break them. So you need that security. Thank you so much for everything you do for security for that. We have 10 minutes until the next presentation. I see that already the people are joining in. Thank you so much. Have a great conference day. Enjoy it, learn, and see you soon. And thanks, Astrid.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yes.